much more of an elegant solution to sideboard hate in the post-board games than trying to just jam some Jaces in and hope that you stick one and outgrind someone.
Yeah, and it's really more, Gristlebrand is being used in that deck more as a Necropotence than as a large reanimation threat.
Yes.
Which makes it a different deck. Moving right along here, we have our standard open runner-up in Braun-Duin. You guys are probably familiar with the old BBD, playing Punishing Jund against Max Schroeder in his blue-white countertop deck. You know that Max is playing more of a Rest in Peace-centric version of this deck with Enlightened Tutor. He told me because he played against Dave Thomas round 1, and Dave Thomas, Dredge aficionado, Max went turn 1, Enlightened Tutor.
Yep.
And Dave said, this is okay. All right, I don't want to play anymore. As Rest in Peace came, and Dave went on away.
Oh, I've got an energy field game 1. I mean, it's not good.
Yeah.
It's not good.
Yeah. So Brian is currently up a game here with his Punishing Jund deck list in front of me. The full boat of Deathrite Shamans, Dark Confidants, and Tarmogoyfs to go along with 4 Liliana of the Veil, 4 Thoughtseize, 4 Punishing Fire, 3 Lightning Bolt, 3 Hymn to Torek, 3 Abrupt Decay, and 3 Bloodbraid Elves to go along with some Wastelands and some other mana. Pretty straightforward build of Jund here, honestly.
Yep. And I think Brian's very well set up for this sort of matchup with Thoughtseize, Abrupt Decay. His threats are durable, and if any of them stick, particularly Dark Confidant, he's heavily favored. So,
speaking of which,
let's see. We're going to go, and that reveals Enlightened Tutor, so now Confidant's in play. Brian Braun-Duin surprisingly deciding to play a deck in the Legacy portion significantly more fair than his deck from the Standard Open.
Yeah, a little bit of a surprise there from Brian. As you do see, Max has a Swords of Plowshares and a Enlightened Tutor and an Energy Field in his hand. Doesn't look like very much else besides that.
And this style of blue-white countertop, we've seen this a bunch of times before, as we see Bloodstained Mind revealed to the Dark Confidant, is much better against sort of the dishonest decks or some of the more linear strategies, because Enlightened Tutor for your bullets is insane. Against decks like Jund, which are sort of, I can kind of do anything. I'm not particularly married to any sort of strategy or particular card. I can kind of just do my stuff. I believe the Enlightened Tutor setup is much worse.
Yeah, I would agree with that. You do see Max choosing not to Swords of Plowshare with the Dark Confidant. I think the reason behind that is because he does want to Enlightened Tutor for a Sensei's Divining Top. Be able to get that engine online and start to be able to find some lands, as he is stuck on 2 lands right now, and it looks like he has missed a handful of land drops as well. Probably did take a mulligan or 2 this game, it looks like.
You see Brian with the From the Vault Realms Grove of the Burn Willows.
There's your Enlightened Tutor. There's your Pyroblast.
Brian again is hoping to dodge a blind counterbalance.
What can we do? Terminus.
Not quite.
Hi, not you. Max is going to resolve the Enlightened Tutor here. I'd be surprised if it wasn't Sensei's Divining Top, but I have been wrong before, and we'll be wrong again.
It might be different now because of what the Pyroblast just landing. Yeah, he's actually going to go get a backup counterbalance.
Okay.
Now, ideally, you would allow someone to Enlightened Tutor first and then Pyroblast the counterbalance so they're working with incomplete information. But since Brian knows the odds are overwhelming he's getting Sensei's Divining Top, he won't be able to Pyroblast then. He may be able to do it in response to the Sensei's Divining Top, but that's a very greedy, risky play.
Yeah, absolutely. So you see Counterbalance re-put into play. Thoughtseize, the reveal for Brian. Draw another card for the turn, which is be a Bayou. And so he's kind of riding Bob to victory right now. And if you're Max, you're thinking, I got to get that thing off the board here as soon as you see a Thoughtseize here from Brian. Humility is the card that is revealed.
Another horrendous draw.
Swords and an Energy Field. Energy Field's not looking too good right now either. I think if I'm Max with that Enlightened Tutor, I think I have to consider getting top there just to start smoothing out my draws. Counterbalance is a card that is okay in this matchup, but it's not really great, you know, without top, nor with Abrupt Decay existing.
Yeah, I'm not even sure what he's really supposed to find there. Yeah, I almost feel, well, I guess getting a top is better than failing to find, but I feel like it's actually kind of close. Like, there's actually nothing good to really do Enlightened Tutor for after that's happened. Like, trying to lean on counterbalance when your opponent has Dark Confidant and you don't have top and there's Abrupt Decay in their deck is pretty tough. I guess he's figuring, Max figures he would be able to plow the Confidant the next turn, and then life would go on, but now we're here instead.
So you do see the Humility revealed again to the Deathright Shaman. Second Grove of the Burn Willows in play for Brian to go along with both of those bad lands, and he is just going to pass it back.
All right.
And it's an energy field time. All right, it is. So this is going to be used to stave off elimination a little bit here. Dark Confidant to reveal here for Brian. Take a draw. Maybe Bloodstained Mire.
It's hard to imagine this energy field being able to hold the fort for very long.
Yeah. You know, unless he runs into a Rest in Peace right now as his next draw, I can't imagine how good this energy field is going to be. And again, all of this needs to take place with Brian never running into an Abrupt Decay.
Yeah.
And we know that he has 3 copies of the card in his deck.
I think Brian is just probably going over the risk of playing a second Confidant here.
Yeah, what's the worst that can happen? It's probably what he's thinking to himself right now. And that does resolve.
You get Terminus, but then the energy field goes away.
Mm-hmm. Volcanic Island. Max is just going to pass the turn back. Deathright Shaman. Going to remove the Swords of Plowshares there. Deal Max 2, put him at 13. There's plenty of fodder in those graveyards for Deathright Shaman. Deathright Shaman, looking at Brian's graveyard alone, 2 Thoughtseizes, Abrupt Decay, and a Pyroblast.
Yeah.
So plenty to do there with that. Brian draws a Verdant Catacombs and an Abrupt Decay.
Yeah, and now the House of Cards collapses.
Yep.
That Abrupt Decay is going to attack the counterbalance. That's going to cause the energy field to go away.
And as Newfound Glory would say, Patrick, it's all downhill from here.
I wouldn't know.
I know far too well. Expand your horizons.
Mine are pretty expanded. I don't feel like my horizons are insufficiently expanded.
Bio here from Brian, and you're going to see Abrupt Decay. I think it's just going to take out the energy field, right? I don't think.
No, well, getting rid of the
oh yeah, getting rid of that gets
causes-
rid. Okay, yeah, never mind.
So yeah, even if Max rips a white source for his Humility here, he still is behind just 3 1/1s in play.
Yeah.
He's
Force
drawn
of Will is the
Force
draw.
of Will.
And he's just going to pass the turn back. Sitting patiently,
Yeah.
waiting for his demise. And this is the kind of deck that I mean, this is the reason that Jund exists in the format. You know,
Right.
it does very well against this deck. Counterbalance is obviously a very good card in combination with Sensor's Divining Top, but the addition of Abrupt Decay in the format makes this deck a possibility. And you can see why it would be good here. Liliana of the Veil and the Bloodstained Mire to the Dark Confidant. Liliana of the Veil, the draw step for Brian here this turn as well.
Can you edict yourself?
You can.
I think Ryan might want to actually consider doing that, just as the biggest risk here is just something like randomly flipping over 2 Blood Braids to your 2 Bob triggers next turn. Assuming he can't finish the game here, if he doesn't have a way to generate a point.
You're going to see Liliana of the Veil enter the fray here.
Because Brian's hand is actually just like all land. Yeah, he's just going to edict himself.
Yeah, he'd say, I'm going to target myself. Make sure that nothing ridiculous happens here.
Yep. I like this play a lot. It's a
Decrease-
lot of insurance.
Yeah, decrease the variance. Stay as far away as you can. Max going to take a draw step. Draws an Arid Mesa. I believe that's it's an Arid
Yeah.
Mesa. Yeah, and there's a concession. So, Brian Braun-Duin, your Star City Games Atlanta runner-up in the standard portion. Moving on to 5-0 right now with his Punishing Jund deck against Max Schroeder and Blue-White Countertop.
Yeah, I think the build that Schroeder's playing is a lot better against the unfair decks.
Yeah.
And unfair doesn't actually have to mean something like Storm or Belcher. His matchup against a deck like Burn, for example, is considerably better than normal Counterbalance, because Enlightened Tutor for your aces